The Greatness of Ida Louise Jackson, October 12, 1902. Ida Louise Jackson, October 12, 1902 to March 8, 1966, was an American educator and philanthropist. She attended and graduated from the University of California, Berkeley. Following her family's move to California, as one of the 17 students that attended the university at the time, Jackson prioritized creating safe spaces for African American community members throughout her undergraduate career. Jackson was invested in teaching, specifically in Oakland, California. Despite pushback from school administration, her dreams were finally realized in 1926 when she became the first African American woman to teach high school in the state of California. At the same time, her ambitions were rooted in giving back to her community in Mississippi. Through the networks that she formed in California, Jackson returned back to her home state in 1935 to develop programs around education and healthcare for poor black people. Ida Louise Jackson's contributions were celebrated by her alma mater at the University of California, Berkeley, named her the first graduate apartment housing, named their first graduate apartment housing unit in her honor. Early in life, Ida Louise Jackson was born in Vicksburg, Mississippi on October 12, 1902. She was the daughter of Pompey Jackson and Nellie Jackson. Although a former slave born in Alabama, her father was a pastor and a farmer. Her mother was born in New Orleans. Jackson was one of 8 children, but was the youngest child and their only girl. At the young age of 3, Jackson had learned to read and was permitted to go to school with her older brothers. By the time she was 8, she was enrolled in Vicksburg's Cherry High School. She later graduated from high school at the age of 11. In 1914, Ida Louise Jackson attributed her love for education to her parents. By 1917, she had earned her National Teaching Diploma and Certificate in Home Economics as participants in the first wave of the Great Migration. Jackson and her mother joined her brothers in 1918. They all moved to Oakland, California. Education. Jackson had applied to teaching jobs in the Oakland Unified School District, but denied. School officials had claimed that she was not qualified to teach. Instead of letting this stop her, Jackson enrolled in the University at California, Berkeley in 1920. At the time, she was one of the 17 black students at the university. Despite the low number of black students on campus, Jackson emphasized in an interview that there was a strong sense of camaraderie between the few African American students. Jackson added that she and other students had opened up their homes for social gatherings since there were few places for black students to be in the community. Her career. After receiving a Bachelor's of Arts degree from the University of California in 1922, Jackson applied to work in the Oakland School District. However, the administration at the time deemed her unqualified. As a result, she went back to Cal to pursue her master's. Even after receiving these 2 degrees, Jackson recalled that the general consensus of administrations was that a black person was not qualified or experienced enough to teach in the school district. There were very few black students that were promoted into Oakland high schools, so this meant most high schools in the district were predominantly white. Jackson's appeal to work in these schools, regardless, were met with a response of more teaching experience being required. In 1923, Jackson moved to Imperial Valley and accepted a teaching position at Eastside High in El Cerrito. This school served predominantly Mexican and African American students. She remained at this school for 2 years as a home economic and English teacher, and accepting this job, At this school, Jackson became the first woman to teach high school, the first black woman to teach high school in California. Her personal life and legacy. Ida Louise Jackson paved the way for many. She was the first black teacher in Oakland public schools and was the first black woman certified to teach in the state of California. Some of Dr. Jackson's written works include Development of Negro Children in Reference to Education, 1923, and Librarian's Role in Creating Racial Understanding, 1944. In 1979, she donated her ranch to UC Berkeley and specified that the proceeds of its sale be used to develop and fund a graduate fellowship among black students. In 2004, a graduate housing complex on College Avenue was named in her honor. Ida Louise Jackson died in 1996 by age 93. She's now buried at the Mountain View Cemetery. The greatness of Ida Louise Jackson.